guys, so I'm doing a quick video today. I'm taking out the Nissan Leaf for a charge, and today it's actually a little bit warmer. Negative 12 Celsius feels like negative 24, but at least it's not like negative 25, feels like negative 37 yesterday. Anyway, and I'll see you in the car. So as you can see, the battery temperature is at 4 bars. That's usually about 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. That's what I have the garage at, set to 15 Celsius, and I have 22 kilometers range. Now for my car, the heater a few weeks back, about a month ago, went out. The problem with these earlier Leafs is that they actually use an element heater, and that element heater, if it goes out, it affects a fuse on the DC to DC converter. Now the heater is like $4,000 Canadian, and the DC to DC converter is another $6,000 to $7,000. Yes, that is a problem. I only paid to change the heater, so the heat still doesn't work. I have it set to negative 32, but if we look here, energy info, climate control isn't using any power. So yeah, I need to change the DC to DC converter, and that's gonna cost a bit of money, and I don't plan on doing that since the Model 3, I reserved it early enough when they released it, and it's 2018. Happy New Year's. And hopefully I'll be getting it later in the fall, and that means I would rather spend the money on the Model 3 than this vehicle. Anyway, so yeah, besides that, actually using it in the winter with no heat, you would think like, oh my god, like what's wrong with this guy? I just dress up nicely. I do have air coming in to defog, or on defog mode for the windshield, just so to avoid moisture buildup on it, because of course my breathing in here does cause moisture to increase in the air within the cabin. If you don't have air pushing that moisture away from the windshield, and the temperature outside is fucking cold, and it's 0 degrees actually, well, the temperature for the car is actually adjusting. What happens is you end up with moisture buildup and sticking to the windshield. So I just, as long as I have air towards the windshield, all is good. I had the vehicle washed at a fuel station, and I'm just parking in the parking lot, and I'm gonna go outside and show you a few things, especially the front of the vehicle. See the front part of the motor. You got the inverter, DC to DC converter just in the back part of it. The motor is in the way bottom right there. This is the 12-volt battery. This is the hydraulic fluid for the brakes. The antifreeze is right here, which is important if you maintain your own vehicle. You can see the level is at max, but from time to time you need to top it off, and same with the brakes. Otherwise you'll have problems with regenerative braking and braking itself. Charging rate heavily depends on several things. A lot of people don't understand this. It depends on the state of charge for your battery's vehicle, on the state of charge of your vehicle's battery, on the temperature of the battery. It also depends on the power that can be delivered. So not just because the charger can deliver X amount of power, then it's gonna just push the maximum and that's it. That's what you should expect. Actually, no. What happens is the charger communicates with your vehicle to find out what's the state of charge, and depending on that, and the temperature, depending on that, it determines the best charging rate to deliver at. So the maximum I've seen, depending on the battery temperature and how low it is, I've came to this charger with almost nothing, and the temperature of the battery was really cold. It was very cold outside, negative 20 something. It did not pump out 120 amps at 300 whatever, 95 is usually the voltage I would get. It did not do that because it was very, very cold. And I've done the same thing during the summer, where the temperature of the vehicle was around 20, of the battery was around 25 average Celsius. And it did deliver that much current. Now, because it was at a good ambient temperature where it can accept a lot of power, and you have to understand, with that much power you get a lot of heat. It actually warms up the battery. So when the temperature of the battery is really low, do not expect it to accept a lot of power to charge it. It's going to start off low, and to not damage the battery until the battery is warmed up enough, and the charging rate will actually increase. So you have to know that, and you see a lot of that in Tesla videos, because Tesla did a great job doing that versus Nissan. It's the same approach to the problem. It's just with Tesla, a lot of people are aware of that, and you can see the charging rate and power in the vehicle and on your phone, versus in Nissan and other vehicles. Initially, I know the Bolt, you can see it in the vehicle, but you can't see that here in Nissan, for example. You have to step out to the charger, and you're like, why isn't it delivering all this power? It's really because it depends on the vehicle. Also, the battery's age and state of health affects that. So usually a brand new vehicle, you have the voltage can be 400 something, up to 450, I've heard. Mine is not new, it's actually 6 years old. So the maximum I've seen in terms of voltage was 395 volts. So as it gets older, that voltage, like any other battery, drops slowly, not a lot. For example, when it's really cold, you're not going to get it charging at that voltage or that maximum possible voltage. The voltage differs. So it really depends on, you have to understand the state of charge, the state of health, the temperature, those three things mainly, which affect the rate of charge that you would get from the charger. So that you have to be very aware of. That's all. And